So I'm working at the digital and data department within BPCE, and BPCE is the headquarters of a big retail. So let's start. And first, I have to maybe a few words about what is Groupe BPCE. BPCE is, of course, you may know, the second largest banking group in France, with two big cooperative banking networks in France. In one side, the network of Banque Populaire, and then in the other side, the Caisse d'Épargne cooperative banking network also. And we have also different brands as Casden, Crédit Coopératif, Banque Palatine. And of course, we have Natixis. Natixis is providing different services, and Natixis is a quoted banking in the French market, in the French stock exchange market. And so we are a cooperative banking and insurance group. We are serving through the two big networks. We have 14 Banque Populaires in one side and 15 in the other side. It's quite complex to see the organization of a group, but I'm working within BPCE, and the BPCE is the sort of the headquarters of all these complex groups. That is not easy. That's why it's not easy, for example, to work with the digital ecosystem and the outside ecosystem, and that's why we try to build an organization around this, and to try to make them more fluent with the relation we had with the ecosystem. So we are serving all these customers, and so I give you some figures about the group. We have, of course, as we are cooperative networks, we have 9 million cooperative shareholders. We are serving with the help of 150,000 employees, mainly based in France, because we have only, I think it's about 10% in foreign countries, and we have in France about 7,800 branches, and we are financing more than 20% of the French economy. So it's very big. It's a very important figures for the group and for a banking group in France. So, and we are ranked as first bank for the SMEs, number 2 for bank for professional customers and individual entrepreneurs, and number 2 for bank for individual customers, and ranked number 4 for the bank and insurance in France, because we have also insurance activity, as we will see just right now, as we are focusing on the different business line we had within BPCE Group. Of course, first we are a retail banking and insurance, but with also Natixis, we have different business lines in asset and wealth management through Natixis and Natixis Wealth Management, and we are serving also corporate and investment banking and payments business line with Natixis payments activity. We are providing payment solution with this last company. Talking about now the digital within the group BPCE, and as you may know, we have, or may not, we have changed the head of the digital activity since 3 years ago. 3 years ago, with the arrival of our new head of digital called Stephane. And since 3 years, we have built this new activity around one ambition. Well, it was the digital ambition about generating value. First, we had a at the beginning an ambitious of making things simple, and now as we are on the second phase of this activity, we are more about the generating value, making things simple and generating value for our customers, for our employees, and with and for our partners, of course. And we are building this with the technological platforms, and of course we are focusing on this year and the last year and this year we are more focused on data about making value and quality and identifying use cases about the data. For all this ambition and making this innovation, working with this innovation, we have built an organization around this with an organization centralized about the digital and data department, and we called it 89C3. It's a code name to identify the digital acceleration system serving all our customers and employees for the digital activity. In one side, on the right side, as you can see, we are, of course, the different brands, Banque Populaire, Caisse d'Épargne, Natixis, who are the different brands of the group, and serving three sort of different clients, digital clients in B2B and B2C, the digital transformation inside the different companies and different brands, and of course this last line about the data. And for this, we are working within this this activity. For the first line, for digital B2B and B2C digital clients, we're working with the what we call here in France Banque de Proximité and Insurance. Is a department dedicated to the animation of the commercial and business development within BPCE. And for the digital transformation inside this different organization, we are working with people leading the digital transformation within their own organization. So it's the 40 digital champions we had. And of course, we are working with about the data, with on the data subjects and on the data topics with 40 DMOs, data management offices within this the organization, the different organization within the Banque Populaire and Caisse d'Épargne, and serving this to help to build all the products and services we are working on. We have made a sort of organization, not a specific organization with recruiting new people, but we are gathering people coming from the ITs, for the different ITs, from the Banque Populaire ITs, from the Caisse d'Épargne ITs, and from BPCE, within a sort of organization we call the factory, and representing the IT operators, helping the digital and data department to build the new services and the new products to serve our customers, digital B2B, B2C clients, customers, and of course our employees. And with three logical to build this, it's we are of course construction because as we have different brands, two main brands, Caisse d'Épargne and Banque Populaire, we had the idea that it's not necessary to build different products. For example, the banking apps, it's not necessary to work for the Banque Populaire apps, and on the other hand, for the Caisse d'Épargne apps, we are serving the same objectives in one apps and branded after with the different big brands. And of course, we are more focusing on building industrial projects. So it's a way of working after we will talk about this, but working with for example, with startups, we need to work with them in an industrial projects way because we do not want to in experimenting too much, but we have a sort of objective of building only large-scale industrial projects for this. And of course, we are using uh, new way of working in agile development and new techniques of working together and bringing all the different teams from the different brands. And as you may notice, that it's not easy from BPCE with all these brands to make them working together. So the new way of working in agile and this kind of way of working helps us to build more quickly and more easily the new products and new services we want to give to our customers. So we had a first phase. The phase it was to build the digital in the group. The first phase was about implementing the digital organization we has just talked, and to make the first results about redesigning the mobile application in one way, building the same application for Banque Populaire and Caisse d'Épargne, creating the first digital subscription pass about credits, accounts openings, and of course serving the employees with the digital fundamentals to make the duration of these employees by building and to bring them digital platforms. For example, for learning, we use a digital platform called Digits. It helps employees to learn about the digital and the digital transformation using an app to do this, and of course using the Yammer and other new tools as Teams and other I forgot the word, the networks to bring them to push them the new services within the different for the different employees. And the second phase, since 2019, it was the acceleration and the amplification of what we have done previously. It was about, of course, continuous improvement of what we have done for about products and services we have developed in this first phase, and we are continuing with. It was first it was first about serving the 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 serving the so I forgot the word. Sorry, but on the second phase we are developing digital for professional and business lines, and new tools also for the employee as working on digital workplace, digital scoring, bringing them the new services through the implementation of Office 365. And as I said, we are developing and creating value with the data for business users and intelligence artificial for commercial performance through different topics as customer knowledge, analysis of customer spendings, and on a comparative basis, and trying to identify new needs using the data and helping to make value, creating value with the data to help our different business lines to make their business. To try to to serve the digital ambition inside, build an organization that have to be more local, and that's why we are driving with 4 partners, and these 40 digital champions based within each branches, each local Banque Populaire and local Caisse d'Épargne. They are leading the digital transformation plan within their own establishment and serving the digital acculturation plan of their own employees by relying what we have done at the central organization to their local organization with 28 digital academies within their own organization, spreading digital cultures among all the employees and serving and bringing the digital acculturation uh, and and the service to the 1,005 employees in all the group. So of course, after all this, we have some results, and so what we have gained in this last 3 years, it's that we have an rate, satisfaction rate, customer satisfaction rate that has increased a lot compared 3 years ago. So we have now on the different stores, on the Google stores and the Apple stores, the App stores, a very good one rate because we have transformed the digital apps, and we have, of course, the use of the new services we have done. For example, the number of cash transfers, 26.7 million number of cash transfers, and one figure is very important: the use of people, is the number of people using the Banque Populaire and Caisse d'Épargne apps. Only in June, it was about 4.7 million number of people using these apps. It's one of the examples of the success of our digital transformation within the group BPCE. And to help all this, we need to work with the digital ecosystem, for different reasons. Because we bring them support and expertise in one way. The second way, it's about open innovation. The third is about sourcing, and the fourth is about digital tools. That's why we need to work with the digital ecosystem. That's why we think here within BPCE and within the different networks, Caisse d'Épargne and Banque Populaire and the other brands of the group. That's why we think that we need to work with the digital ecosystems and the startups and the firms working in this ecosystem. First, we have built within the 2 big networks dedicated offers for this type of companies. We have, of course, dedicated support to the issues of the startups. We have built 2 systems, one called Neo Business for the Caisse d'Épargne, and the other is Next Enough for the Banque Populaire. We have formed specific people, specific teams dedicated to work with the startups, the innovative firms, the scale-ups, and the innovative companies, because you do not work for business. You do not make business with these firms as you make business with the other firms. You have to understand the way they work, because they are very different and they are thinking very different. And so we have dedicated people who have learned how to work with these companies and with this type of companies. And of course, we are providing them specific offers and specific products, as for example, subsidized loan offer intended to facilitate the financing of these companies and their innovative projects. We have products called Pré-Innovation and the same Pré-Innové Plus for Banque Populaire. And as you may see, is that we are building the same products but branded differently for this type of companies. And for supporting them, for supporting their international development, we have the help of a subsidiary of BPCE called Pramex International. It helps this type of company to implement their project in the international way. And of course, we have a venture capital company called C Venture that helps to finance these different companies. So this is the business offer dedicated to the innovative companies. So we have a specific offer to these companies. The other way of working with startups and others innovative company is that we help them to create value, because we have within the group, and I think you had the same things in your own organization. You have different assets, and one of these assets is, for example, the data. In France, we are the first banking group in France to publish data, open data, through an open data platform. We have actually, currently we have about more than 100 data sets available in this portal. And so developers, companies, startups can use this free data, can use this access to the free data to build value and to create value with this data. For example, the Banque Populaire network has put the data about the payment data within this portal, and this payment data helps institutional to learn to build different models about the comprehension of how foreign citizens are coming in their local and the regional department, and to try to understand how to manage these foreign people coming in their local area. For example, to identify the changes and the impact of the Brexit to this, to try to identify specific information to understand how the English people are changing their way of coming in the north of France and trying maybe to have their economy, the local economy, to change through this data, to try to make people thinking new way of offering new services for the people, for the English people, because of the impact of the Brexit. So that's why it's one way. So it's one asset we offer to the ecosystem to creating value, and of course the other asset is that we have APIs, and for example in the group we have more than 1,000 API used within the group, and we wanted to centralize not all of these APIs, but some of them, and to offer them in a single portal for developers and startups. And of course, we have the legacy that in Europe that through the PSD2 that force you to put some APIs about personal information that you may offer to the developers and other companies. But we are doing more, and we are exceeding the requirements of this PSD2 requirement, and to in order to be a leader in the open banking in France with this API, we are offering to developers and to startups and different companies. So, for example, that's why it's the second way of helping the other companies creating value with the assets we have within the group. The way it's working maybe in the about open innovation.
Stephane,
open innovation is
just a quick comment. I don't want to be unpolite, but we already exceeded a little bit the time that we are planning. I mean, just for your own information, it's now we did already half an hour.
Okay.
So we can continue to finish, but just to keep that in mind, because
I will finish very fastly. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And now about the open innovation. So we have a lab working with startups. For example, in 2009, in 19, we supported with 27 startups we worked with, and to help the relation with startups, we have built what we call the startup pass. It's a legal set helping the contractualization of the relation with startups, bringing them the protection of their intellectual property, legal contract with electronic signature, and the reducing of the payment time. So, and just for maybe to resume how we work with this and the doctrine with startups. In one side, we work with them, and we work because they are, for example, the first one is they are providing us solutions, and they are supporting the group BPCE in the strategic plan. For example, the first one, KYC, is bringing us the KYC solutions. The second one is bringing us the Meniga is bringing us solution to develop new way of using the apps and collaborate about data. There is startups using our own platforms. As I talked, it's about open data and APIs. The startups collaborating with the lab, and startups we have created within the partnership we had with a venture capital called Truffle Capital, and it's another way of working with them. It's working with as a startup studio. We are creating startups or from scratch or from small startups, and because of a need we have identified within the group, and we don't have it, or we didn't find it in other startups. And so within this partnership with Truffle Capital, we are building, and we are new startups to serve the objective of the group. And in the other side, on the right, we support the startups through the customers offer with NextInnov and Neo Business. They are hosted. We have also startup hosted in business incubators and accelerator systems offered by the different establishment of the group in the territories. We are startups looking for funds, and they are served by Venture and other structures of capital development within BPCE and Banque Populaire and Caisse d'Épargne. And we have different startups within the groups, mainly in the payment activities, and they are offering solution of payments and through Natixis payments, and then they are called PayPlug, Danalis, and S1A, and they are serving the different solution in payments to these startups. And this slide is just an example of the complexity of the group. In one way, the different brands of the group. The other way is the different startups on the left side from the different ecosystem. The local, regional, national, and international ecosystems. The startups we work for, they work, and the startups we are financing them, and just we are building in the central sort of hub to serve for our internal customers and outside customers, B2B or B2C. And of course, to animate all this, we have to identify, to organize, and to support, and to make the animation and the running of this network through different digital and local partnerships as academics, funds, events, institutionals, or competitiveness clusters, or incubators and accelerators. And that's it.
Excellent, Stephane. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I was maybe too long in the first part. Yeah.
No, don't worry. I know it's very difficult to summarize all this information in 20 minutes. It's a lot, but I think anyway we had a really good overview of all the initiatives related to digital. And if you all want, maybe we can make some questions. We can go for a few questions. What I suggest, I see that Banco from Brazil already wrote a question in the chat. What I suggest is that you can also write questions in the chat, and then I give it to Stephane, or I think Stephane can see also the questions. You can see it.
Who is going digital subscription for credits and account opening? Yeah, so we have built. It's not easy in France because it depends of the legal, what we have, the legal way.
Yeah, so sorry, in case you haven't seen the question, because I'm not sure if everybody sees the question. The question from Brazil is how is going digital subscription for credit and account opening, and does it have a large engagement, and how much does it represent on total? Sorry, Stephane.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is that it depends, of course, on the legal. So at the beginning, it was not easy to make the digital subscription for credit and account opening. It was not easy because we had issues about for example, for the KYC. We were not able at the beginning to use, for example, the video KYC or other new digital systems to make the openings of accounts or the subscription credits. But we are now trying to evolve in this, and we are creating new tools to make this subscription for credits, or maybe not all the workflow of the subscription for the credits, but parts and different parts for the subscription for the credits and the account opening. And so it's not completely digital, but some of the workflow in the credits could be be digitalized and could use, for example, the services offered by the startups we work with, known as the link in the slides. Thus, we have a large engagement, not completely, but we are building step by step the engagement with the different branches and different organizations within Groupe BPCE. And that's why we are using our digital champions and to make this engagement more efficient within the different organizations within the group. That's why we have built. You see the producer of the services and the digital transformation in two parts. So there are people working on developing new services, and there are people working on providing all the information to give our employees the ability to push these new services. That's why we're focusing a lot about acculturation and the appropriation by the employees, all the employees, for these new services. For example, currently we are trying to onboard about 20,000 employees in our new digital app, and this new digital app will be only open for these 20,000 employees. That it will help them to learn about how to use this new app, and after we hope that as we help them to use, they will be able to diffuse the information and the knowledge about this new app, and to diffuse the use of this app through the other customers and to the other employees, and after to the customers, of course.
Okay, thanks, Stephane. I saw also I put here a question that comes from Morocco that was sent to me via email from Rachid Elawi, which is Director of Architecture at BPCE in Morocco. And he's well, you can see the question here, but basically he's asking about if we can address the architecture that you put in place at BPCE level to that can sustain the open banking.
So I'm not the right person, because I'm not the technical person to talk about the architecture of the IT architecture we used to build the open banking services. But I can ask people, so I can maybe try to find the good answers, and I will send them to the person of
sure.
The banking of the BCP that have asked about this question. And regarding the question about the use of the APIs with the aggregators as a Linkso and banking, of course, because of the regulation, because of the legal the legacy, the legal rules, we have to open our APIs to these actors as Linkso and banking. And maybe for people who don't know these actors, it's what we call aggregators here in France and in Europe, and they are using APIs from different banks and from different institutions to be able to have the data from the other institution and to build new services to serve their own customers.
Excellent, Stefan. I see here also a message private to me, but I'm not sure, to be honest, who is that. That we would like to have some questions, but to you at some other point, because for now maybe it will be too long. It says here Galaxy J7, so I'm not sure who is behind that phone, but maybe if you can state that in the chat. And I think I heard as well the voice of Claudio, maybe in the back, asking some questions. Am I wrong?
May I ask one question?
Yes, Claudio, please go ahead, from Argentina.
Okay. Hi, Stefan. Thank you for this
Hello.
great presentation. Congratulations for all the job done. My question is regarding the strategic plan in 2007 of BPCE referred to the feeder company, the feeder bank. But in this strategy plan that you presented to us, you didn't mention anything about feeder. Is there any situation because you didn't mention? Is it not part anymore of the BPCE?
I'm very sorry because the sound is not very good.
Can you repeat the question, Claudio?
Yeah, it was about what I didn't mention.
Yes, let me rephrase. In 2007, you listen to me right now?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Perfect. So in 2007, you mentioned the acquisition of Feeder Bank, the German e-banking company, but I didn't, and well, it was included in your strategy and all this stuff, but I didn't see in this presentation. Is that something?
Yeah, because, so I understand the question. Yeah, thank you. I understand the question. So it was, of course, it was one part of our strategy to when we have bought Feeder Bank. But as we have changed the head of BPCE, we have decided to change also because of the results we have with Feeder Bank. It was not good results, and we have decided to change and to stop the cooperation with Feeder Bank because it was not going as we wanted, because of different issues we have to face with them and with the way of building this new networks with Feeder in France or in other company. Even if we still have the Feeder core banking used in north of Africa, in Algeria, through the Natixis. And in Algeria, Feeder is the platform we use with Feeder is the first digital bank in Algeria. But we have decided to change, and we have decided to sell Feeder currently. So we are looking for a new an acquirer for Feeder. But what we have done this last year, and you may have seen a new actor on the slides of BPCE. It's one network called ONE. ONE is a network earned by the Groupe Auchan. Auchan is a big retailer group in France and the European and in Europe, and they are mainly offering how do we call it? I don't know if it's the good word, but it's a fractioned payment solution. Okay. So it's maybe it's the same word in English. I'm not sure, but it's when you want to pay, for example, when you buy something in 3 times or 4 times or 10 times. Is it okay for this? And so they are offering this type of solution, and they are offering also banking services. So we have bought last year 51% of ONE, and ONE is now the new way of developing the European presence of the group BPCE through this new network we have acquired last year. Do I have answered to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Stephane. Is there any other questions from members that you would like to ask Stephane right now? I know that perhaps you have many. I know here, for example, from Morocco, they have quite a number of questions that maybe now it's a bit short to address. But if you agree, Stephane, we can try to find another moment to get in contact with them, perhaps, if you have the time.
No, of course.
And maybe it can be with themselves, or we can include some other members if there is also a need for that. But for right now, I don't know if there is any other question for any of you. Okay. Okay, so it seems that we covered.
Yeah. So yeah, you have my email through the invitation that has sent Javier. So you can join me through this with this email. So and we can make maybe a private exchange of something
Yeah,
we can do. Okay.
what we can do is that, or what I suggest is that if members they have like questions, they can write to me all the questions or all the topics or the things that you wanna check with Stephane, and then I put them together. I check that with you, and then we see how we can address all these questions. Does it make sense for you, Stephane?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it that way. Okay, let's finish here then. Thanks a lot, Stephane, for this great overview.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Of the group, and we'll stay in touch for sure. And thanks to the rest of participants for being for joining today to this exchange. And I hope to see you soon, next month or early maybe. So have a nice evening, afternoon, wherever you are, and talk to you soon. Thanks a lot for joining. Bye bye.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.